Hi, I'm Jess Ponce. I am a media coach, a branding consultant, and also an author. I've written 2 books called A.W.E.S.O.M.E, The 7 Keys to Unlock the Speaker Within, and also Everyday Celebrity, a branding guide from a Hollywood media coach. And today we're going to talk about public speaking. And there are 5 deadly sins when it comes to public speaking. Now let me start by clarifying what I mean by public speaking. Anytime you engage in a purposeful message, and that can be on a stage like a keynote, but that can also be in a job interview, it can be online, it can be when you're doing a video. That's when you are engaging in public speaking. Because what you are trying to do is you are trying to convey an important message, and it could be your expertise or it might be an opinion to a desired audience. And the 5 deadly sins, let's start with number 1, and that is over-rehearsing. Now, I want you to be prepared, and that's really important, but a lot of times when we over-rehearse, we focus on words. And what I want you to focus on are messages. Because when you become scripted, when you're over-rehearsing, you become rigid. And if you miss a word or you miss a detail, that might throw you. Rather, when you focus on messages, you can find different words. You can be in the moment and you can express yourself more clearly because you're not stuck on the word you're going to say, but rather the point you want to make. Now, number 2, in terms of a deadly sin when it comes to public speaking, is not adequately understanding your audience. Because if you don't understand what they want, you may not really convey something to them that's going to be important to them. Because quite often, when we are, engaging in public speaking, we really want to create impact, but we get focused on the message. And it isn't just the message that's important, it's what it means to the audience. Are you speaking to their heart? Are you speaking to their minds? Are you really engaging them in a way that's important to them? Or is it really all about you? So when you research an audience, get to know about what they care about. And in this instance, it's actually a good thing to profile them. Get a sense of their age, their income, and also their points of view. Because again, it's not about you, it's about them. Number 3, and this happens all the time when it comes to a deadly sin in public speaking, and that is relying on slides. Now, this particularly applies to a business meeting or a keynote or a breakout. Now, when you have slides, they're actually supposed to substantiate or validate your point or message. The best slides actually happen to be visual representations, pictures, not words. When you focus on the slides and you rely on them to lead you, you set yourself up for technology mishaps. Because what happens if the slides go down? Or if they get confused, not the slides themselves being confused, but they're misplaced in terms of your presentation, you will be completely thrown. Rather, the slides are there to help support your message. They're there to help support the point that you're trying to make. If you use them as your guide, you're not relying on your expertise or your point of view. You're relying on something outside of you, and anything can happen at that point. Number 4, when it comes to a deadly sin in public speaking, is not being prepared. So much like the slides, when you aren't flexible or you're relying too much on everything going perfectly and a light falls down, or even you yourself might get out of place in terms of what you're going to say, you are completely thrown. Rather, you have to be prepared for the unexpected. Because when you are doing any form of public speaking, you have to be in that moment. And anything can happen. As I mentioned, lights falling down, slides going away, a baby crying. And if you are really connected in that moment and present with what you're saying, you might find clever ways to integrate that into what you are having to say. Because at the end of the day, you want to communicate and be present and create magic. You want to create moments. It's not about having perfection happen, because at the end of the day, it isn't going to happen. And that leads us to number 5 when it comes to deadly sins of public speaking. And that is not wearing comfortable shoes, having too many accessories, or fidgeting with your clothing. Now, clothing and appearance are really important because it represents your brand. However, a lot of people fidget with their watches, they fidget with their rings, with their necklace, and you don't want to draw attention to these items because that conveys that you are nervous. Rather, you want your clothes to complement who you are. Now, if you're not used to wearing a suit, there are 2 different things that you can do, and that can be a pantsuit or a dress suit when it comes to doing a presentation. Number 1 is get comfortable in that suit. So wear it a few times before you're doing a presentation. And number 2, which is actually something that I advocate more when it comes to clothing, is don't wear the suit. If it's off-brand, that suit will wear you. So I hope these 5 bits of information, the deadly sins when it comes to public speaking, will help you engage better the next time you have a message. If you'd like this information and you would like to get more, remember to like and subscribe. Also, you can go to my website, jp3globalmedia.com.